What's going on, everybody? Welcome in. We will give people a few minutes and then start at 2300 UTC, an hour before the daily close. Can you guys hear me? Hello? What's up, Cody, Lucas, T, Caesar, Apping, Rayhan? What's up, Sean, Imad, Jared, Charlie, hey from London, what's going on, man? Catherine, Kevin, T, hope everyone's doing well. Can you guys hear me? I think Sean's trolling when he said the audio doesn't work. Okay, cool. Sean, quit being a little troll. All right. So, we will start in just a second. What's up, Abe? What's up, Mark? Baz, Ridiculous, Amrula, Martin. Cool, Mike. What's up, Mike? What's up, Chris, Oscar? Nice. Good amount of people in the chat hanging out. Okay, so it's good to have you all here. Thank you for tuning in to the first live stream sponsored by Bybit. Thanks to them, I'm able to do these live streams completely for free. So if you guys enjoy the stream, feel free to use the link in the description. That'll let Bybit know that they should keep sponsoring me. So let's jump right into it. We're going to do a top-down analysis on Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then kind of go from there. We'll do some Q&A, and we'll just see how it goes. Okay, I just fixed my mic sensitivity. It was a little bit low, so it might be better. Congrats on the partnership, man. Thanks, Martin. I appreciate that, bro. Okay, so I posted this little chart on Twitter earlier today, and the similarities are definitely glaring. I remember back here after this day, I was like, okay, the bottom's probably in now. And then we have this day with really good buyback again, and I was like, okay, the bottom's probably in now. And neither time the bottom was in. We had a little bounce and then kind of bled off, took the low again, and then that's the actual low. So we've kind of, obviously it doesn't look exactly the same, but we had a big dump, really solid buyback, but then couldn't sustain it. If this was the low, I would have wanted today to push away. I didn't want to see this green candle here and then the next candle start to push down. So I don't love how the daily is looking on Bitcoin. I think it can still be fixed, but for right now it doesn't look ideal, and I'm kind of expecting it to bleed down a bit more. It doesn't have to happen. We can definitely bounce from here and go up, and we'll kind of talk about what we would need to see on lower time frames for that to play out. But for right now, it is looking a little bearish. Alts are holding up pretty well though. Well, certain alts. Ethereum is up 1.9% on the day, while Bitcoin's down 4%. Litecoin is only down 0.5%. So we're seeing some strength from some alts, but the Bitcoin daily doesn't make me too confident. We could absolutely just range here for the rest of the week, but we'll see what happens. So I'm going to clear this, and then we are going to zoom in and talk about some possible scenarios to be watching. Give me 1 second. Yeah, Ethereum is rebounding pretty well, isn't it? Alts, it is really impressive how well these alts are holding. Well, Ethereum specifically. Okay. So let's zoom into the 4 hour. Talk about some higher time frame levels. Let's pull up the range I have. Let me see which one that is. I'm trying to get some of these things onto my other chart, not this one. That's another chart we can talk about though. Oh, that's right. Okay. So the high time frame range that we're working with, in my opinion, is this one right here. You can see how, well, I'm kind of between two camps with this, because I could see how this would be a very solid range as well. How we have this perfect mid-range rejection, but we can talk about both of them. For now, let's talk about this one though. You can see we put in this range low, range high, tested the range low, nice mid-range interaction all over here, deviated from it, got back in, rejection again. Once we broke through, it held 3 times, and then range high held here, came down. I really thought we were going to bounce from there after sweeping into the range high, but that did not work out. This came nuking down, tagged the range low again, and now we're kind of just consolidating here. So we're in an interesting spot, because technically speaking, like, this looks like a pretty textbook bear flag, where you would just think, okay, floor is about to get pulled out and we're about to go down further. But with Bitcoin, you never know. Like, I could see Bitcoin just pushing up from this. We've seen BARTs all the time where we nuke down, consolidate, and then go right back the other direction. So it's definitely a bit unclear to me what exactly we're going to see next, but we'll talk through a few scenarios and how we're going to play this. So zooming in a little more, I want to put Monday's range on here. Shout out to Sean for the indicator. He made a nice Monday's range indicator. And as you guys can see, we just lost Monday's low. So I don't love to see that. The weekly open acted as some really nice resistance up here. And then I also want to get the quarterly open, because that is pretty close to where we're at. So that is going to be this level right there. Let me edit this, give it a Q, make it a little thinner. Okay. So now we got some levels on here. I know it's starting to look a little messy. I'll take this off because we just talked about it. Okay. So we have our quarterly open. We've got Monday's range, which is kind of the lower time frame range that I'm working with. You can see we took out Monday's low, rallied from there, didn't quite get to Monday's high, but that showed me a bit of weakness. After that, we broke down, rejected at the weekly open, rejected again, and now we are breaking down once more. So this 54 area has now been tested a lot, and that does not make me feel super confident. I would have wanted to see us push from here for me to think the low was in, but because this is being tested for now, I guess you could say 4th time, you don't know how long it will continue to hold for. There's a daily level I wanted to mark that I forgot to do when we were zoomed out. This one right here. So we have some really nice daily demand. And it just barely got front ran right there. So one of the main scenarios that I'm looking for this to bottom out could be a sweep down into this, and then we start trending back up from there. Just because I don't know, unless this bear flag or whatever you want to call it just breaks upwards, I don't know what other level has enough power, I guess you could say, to push us up from here. This low is untapped. This low, untapped. I'm sure every single person that longed anywhere in here put their stop loss there. So I am expecting a lot of stop losses to be there and probably here. So if we were able to break down, wipe out both of those, get back above this low, that would be the omega long, and I would think the low is in. Alternatively, if we don't make it down there, if we hold this higher low right there, we could just keep consolidating. But I wouldn't really be confident that the low is in until we get above the quarterly open. So I'm in two camps here. We are absolutely at a critical area. This could go either direction. You just don't know. So what we do when we're unsure, we plan out different scenarios. And if any of those scenarios come to fruition, then we play that. But as traders, we aren't here to make predictions. At least I'm not. I'm not going to say, okay, this or that is for sure going to happen, because I have no idea what's going to happen. If someone tells you exactly what's going to happen, they don't know what they're talking about. So right now, I wouldn't be taking a position here. If we get above the weekly open and kind of break this downtrend, I think you could take a long targeting Monday's high and the quarterly open. But I wouldn't be like I wouldn't want any swing longs until we get above the quarterly open. If we do that, I think this whole move was to shake people out, and we head to all-time highs from there. To get short, if you're not short already, I don't think you want to short after we've been nuking like this. So I personally would not be shorting here, and I don't really see too many clean levels to take a short off of, just because, I guess you could say retest of that, but invalidation would have to be up here, and then it's not a setup I'd be interested in. So for right now, I would look for some lower time frame longs above the weekly open, targeting Monday's high and targeting the quarterly open. If we somehow reverse from here, hold this higher low structure, whatever you want to call it, then that's the long scenario I will be taking. If we continue to break down here, like I said, I think we load up swing longs just under 50K. I think there is a crazy amount of support there. You can see we had this entire consolidation in that area, and so I don't expect us to just nuke right through that. I really don't think we go to the low 40s. I've been wrong before, but I just don't really see that happening right now. If I was going to leave some limits, technically you could have your stop loss right on the other side of that daily demand, but I would want to play it safer if I'm trying to catch a knife and put my stop loss around this 47K area. Does that make sense? What we are looking for on Bitcoin? I would need to hedge short. If you wanted to hedge short and you're not already, I think if you are already, that would be fine. But if you're not, I think any bounce to here to make a lower high, you could try and enter something to hedge. But I probably wouldn't myself, just because if it just keeps consolidating, who knows what's going to happen. Right now it looks bad. Right now everyone wants to be short. Everyone wants a hedge open, whatever. But let's say this hourly closes back above here, it really won't look that bad. If we take out this low is already taken out, so I don't see the need to go back down there. So if this can get back in Monday's range, I think we make a move up to the weekly open. So I wouldn't want to open a head short up right here. Sure, it could nuke straight down, but I don't see it. Because what, you need your setup or your stop at least there, maybe above this high. But then if it gets back in Monday's range, I wouldn't be surprised if it heads back up there. So Bitcoin, it really could just go either way right now. It's hard to, like, I can't tell you guys exactly what's going to happen, but I do think if we can get back above Monday's low, we'll see some good relief, whether that's something you want a long or not. I think that would be valid. The daily is a little concerning though. Like I said, if we were going to push, I would have wanted to see it go already, but this is clearly an inside day. So that means that the high of today and the low of today are below and above the high and low of yesterday. So what that means is that we're basically just consolidating. So we could put in another one of those and another one like this, just have a ton of nice tight compression and then shoot up or shoot down. So I definitely don't want to take a short at the bottom of a consolidation. I think you absolutely are shooting yourself in the foot if you do that. You know, I always say it in my streams that if we're playing a range, you want to take trades at the range extremes. So you want to take shorts around the range high and you want to take longs around the range low. So I think Ethereum does look a little bit more clear, so we can look at that here in a sec. As long as there are no other questions about Bitcoin. Monocellular, hi Kaz, Chris just brought up Wyckoff chart, sounds scary. Do you think it's a possibility? I don't really trade Wyckoff, so I'm not sure which schematics you guys are talking about. So I'm not too sure. What's up, Joel? So not a head short mostly and sit on our hands. Yeah, I think right now if you're not short already, you sit on your hands. If you are short, I think you could even trim some off here, because either you bounce right here or you're losing the floor. Actually, I would probably close a head short if we get back above Monday's low. That's probably how I would play it if I had a short open right now. So if Bitcoin makes sense to everyone, bounce here. Yeah, I think we absolutely could, AJ. I think if we're gonna bounce, it should happen here. Let me let's draw some trend lines on here, just for fun. Got this one, and I'm gonna do it from this low because it's less of the. So this is kind of the consolidation. We're trading in Monday's range for confluence. If we flip this, I think you take a scalp long to the weekly open, and then Monday's high, and then the quarterly open. If you miss that, I think you look for a short around the weekly open or on a sweep of Monday's high. Otherwise, if you don't want to take those trades because we are kind of stuck in this smaller range, let this play out, whatever it's going to do, and then when it looks clearer, then we will step in. Do you go back to old charts to see if you were right? I don't really have to go back to the old charts. I kind of just remember what I thought, but also I don't really care about being right. Like if I say, okay, I lean towards us bouncing here versus I lean towards us going down here, it doesn't really matter. What matters is the trades I take, because all I care about is money that I make or lose. So me being right about a prediction isn't too high up on my list of things that I care about. Some people want Twitter clout, and some people want to make money. I prefer to trade well than to be right. So if that makes sense to everybody, we will move on to Ethereum. So Ethereum has shown a lot more strength than Bitcoin. As you can see, after we put in this low, we've been pushing up ever since. So that's kind of what I wanted to see from Bitcoin. Because we're seeing some alts do this, I kind of think Bitcoin is just going to stay range bound, but that's still to be determined. Ethereum, it's a little bit tough of a rejection, but I would attribute most of that to Bitcoin taking a hit. So let's mark this up with some similar levels. We had a nice flip of the weekly open earlier today. That guy. Wow. Interesting how both of these wicks front ran the monthly open. Neither of them quite touched it. So that is interesting. Say weekly demand is right here. And let's get Monday's range on there. There we go. The charting app, it's just TradingView. Can you say the USD value it should bounce at? Well, I don't know what's going to happen, but right now, if it's going to bounce, it needs to happen right now at like 53.9. So Ethereum looks a lot healthier than Bitcoin. If you compare them side by side, you can see how, why does this not have my levels on it? What in the world? Whatever, not doing that, I give up on the side by side thing. I'll just flip back to it. You can see how we're trading below Monday's range and we never even took out the high, but with Ethereum, we broke above Monday's high and pushed away from there. So Ethereum is looking a lot better, like a lot healthier than Bitcoin. And you know what? We can look at ETH BTC first to kind of show why. So if you guys remember from like a month ago when we were streaming a bunch, we were just stuck in this range here. I said it looked like it was just accumulation. We had a really clear range. We'd take the range low, range high, take the range low. We had this monthly SR level at 0.03 that we were kind of flipping above and below. And I was saying that when we break out of this range, the low is in, because you don't consolidate for a month and a half for no reason. So I think people were loading up on Ethereum down here. And as you can see, we've had a really nice breakout from there, from the top of the range. Ethereum's up 30% versus Bitcoin. So this right here is why Ethereum has been outperforming Bitcoin so much, because of this ETH BTC chart. So if you guys are new, that's basically just a ratio between Ethereum and Bitcoin. So when it's going up, Ethereum USD is performing better than Bitcoin USD, and vice versa. If this is going down, then Bitcoin's outperforming. So ETH BTC has been incredibly strong recently. We're definitely at resistance now. This is daily supply and the top of our run earlier at the beginning of this year. So if it's going to have a pullback, I would kind of expect it to be right here, or consolidate. Like when this really gets trending, we have a strong move, consolidate, strong move, consolidate. So we might have our strong move here, consolidate under resistance, and then push from there. So that's kind of what I'm seeing with ETH BTC. But if this does pull back to like here and gives a retest of that consolidation, then for that period of time, Ethereum USD would underperform Bitcoin USD. Zooming out a little more, just so you guys kind of have the bigger picture in mind. We've got our two high time frame targets for ETH BTC at 0.053 and 0.07. Those are kind of the macro levels that I would expect Ethereum, ETH BTC to pull back from. And so this chart can be really, really insightful when ETH USD is in price discovery mode. So right now, I know this Bybit chart doesn't go back all the way, but right now, as you can see, it's just open, clear blue sky above where we are. I mean, right now, we're trading below the previous all-time high, so it does show some resistance levels from there. But when we're trading above this, you have no idea where the resistance is. Like, sure, you could use some fib extensions, or you could use some psychological levels like 2,500, 3,000, etc. But what I find to work the best is using the BTC chart, and that's how I'm gonna continue to play this. So I'm not gonna be converting my spot Ethereum back to Bitcoin until we hit these two resistance levels. And if we hit it, I'll take some profit on my spot Ethereum, convert it back into Bitcoin. If we get back above it, you can look for more setups, and then same thing. If we flip this resistance, I'm expecting us to push to at least here, and then possibly ETH BTC all-time highs. But using the BTC chart is a very underrated way of taking profits on alts in a bull run. So that is your guys' little alpha for the day. Okay, so we're starting to bounce a little bit here. That's why I like doing these streams right around the daily close, because it feels like we always get a lot of action. Bitcoin bouncing nicely. Like I said, if this gets above Monday's low at 54.3, I expect a move back up. So back to the analysis on Ethereum. We have a clear uptrend here. We put in this low, high, held the higher low here, put in another high. I guess you could call that our next higher low, and push up from there. So the structure on Ethereum looks a lot better than Bitcoin, and I really like this 2320 as kind of a SR level. You could draw it something like this. You know, not exact, but this general region I think is a very pivotal level. As you can see, we rejected here, held support there, held support again until the floor finally gave out. Then we consolidated here, found some resistance, and we finally broke through. So ideally, from a higher time frame perspective, I would love to see Ethereum hold this general region. We don't have a daily level there. That 12-hour picture looks a little rough, but that's okay. We can always fix it. So for Ethereum to kind of maintain this structure, you'd want to see it hold here and then push, make a new high. Whether that happens or not, we will see. It kind of depends on if Bitcoin crashes through the floor here or not. If Bitcoin holds, then I expect Ethereum to push to a new high. So that's what we're seeing right now on Ethereum. We can talk about some lower time frame stuff, but let me check out the chat. What's up, Maine? Net Gang, that's right. Run it back turbo. Seems to line up with the narrative of ETH 2.0 DeFi summer. Yeah, the really strong ETH BTC chart does kind of say that. Main stream already over. Main, did you stream today? You didn't stream today, did you? We gotta make sure we're not streaming at the exact same time. That would be a bummer. Me and Maine will do another stream together at some point. Had a good time the first time we did that. I'm still working out the exact schedule for when I'm gonna have these 2 streams a week be. I'm sure I'll post a poll on Twitter or something to see what you guys would enjoy the most, what time of day, I think the daily close streams are helpful, but ultimately it is up to you, and we'll have 2 a week. So we'll try and schedule those when not many other people or no one else is streaming. So another lower time frame scenario that I'm watching is you mean my stream, is if we do pull back, I think a lot of stops are resting right there. We have nice hourly demand right here. And so what I'm thinking, if we do lose this level, we take out those stops and then break back above Monday's high, I would definitely be looking for a long with my stop loss at whatever that low ends up being. So that is one long scenario I'm looking for on Ethereum that I would be happy to get involved in. But other than that, I don't really want to short this just yet. However, if Bitcoin is looking really weak and this breaks back under Monday's high, I think you could open a hedge short or whatever kind of short you want to call it, just because you'd think this has a bit more room to fall than shorting Bitcoin, at least where it's at right now. So, however, I would want to see ETH BTC start to roll over if that's what we're happening. So you can see we're right in that resistance right now. I would say we're probably forming some kind of lower time frame range here. So if we consolidate here and then start breaking down, you could definitely look for a short on Ethereum, just because the ETH BTC chart would look like it's pulling back some, and then also the ETH USD chart would be a bit more overextended than the Bitcoin one. Do I ever trade lower time frames under 1 hour? Yeah, I would say the lowest I go is probably the 15-minute chart. It depends on what time I'm in. Honestly, it all depends on you guys. Everybody liked the stream or we won't bounce. It's a good point. I was speaking with the market makers, and they said if the live stream doesn't hit 100 likes, then Bitcoin's going to 0, which would be pretty tragic. But yeah, guys, I definitely think we could have a low time frame play if this gets back in Monday's low. I think that'd be a really solid long, because you would have the Monday's low confluence, also this major consolidation that we're in coming together. So that is something I'm watching. Anyone else have? We can do some Q&A or whatever you guys want to do. Does this all make sense so far? Daily close in about 30 minutes. The Ethereum chart, I mean, this kind of just shows a bit of indecision to me, how this candle looks. Big wick above, big wick below, but probably closing green. The Bitcoin one, not as good, but honestly, if this can bounce up to like 54.8, 55K by the time we close the daily, it'll really just look like consolidation. So that would not be too bad at all. We can look at a couple more charts. Yeah, we can look at LTC. All right, so we're going to kind of go through the same process. Let's look at a 3-day. Nice 3-day demand that we're bouncing from. I would say this is a pretty clean SR level. Look how well this has capped the market. So rejection here, perfectly there, respected on the candle closes, broke above, and now we're retesting it. I would kind of say that is the line in the sand that Litecoin needs to hold if we want to continue to push up. Break below that, and it's probably going to get a little ugly. Sorry, I'm just keeping an eye on this, because if this does reclaim, I'm probably going to take a long. So at 54,300. Yeah, we're keeping a close eye on Bitcoin. If it gives us the signal, I will enter a trade. Yo, what's up, Angle? Please save the market. I'm working on it. If we flip 54.3, I will smash buy. Okay, let's go back to Litecoin. I'll keep an eye on that up there. And you guys can tell me if we're at 54.3. So Litecoin looks more like Bitcoin than it does Ethereum. So if I just hide everything, you see Bitcoin, we had the dump and just consolidate. Ethereum, dump, consolidated for a little and then broke out. But Litecoin also been kind of weak. If we look at the LTC BTC chart, it's just been consolidating. And when this chart is just consolidating, that basically just means Litecoin and Bitcoin are like neither is outperforming. So not much to say about that. Let me clear this old squiggly. LTC BTC, I would say it's broken out though. The fact that we're holding above this resistance and we're hitting this 0.005 level again. Once you flip that, I think the low is definitely in. For now, it looks pretty good, but I don't want to say anything definitively. What's my target for the Bitcoin long? It would be the weekly open, first of all, and then, so I would look to enter something like this. Entry around there. I would keep my stop loss below this level, give it a little breathing room, and I would be targeting the weekly open as target number 1, and I would be targeting Monday's high as target number 2. Just get this on here. So that's kind of what I would be looking for if we get that. So let me finish up Litecoin and then I'll look at some other coins. So where were we? We had this really clean SR level. We've bounced from that, which is good to see. But yeah, just like Bitcoin, this really isn't doing much. It's actually looking a little stronger more recently because it's not at the bottom of this, but still, it's just chopping around in here. It's just ranging, and when it's ranging, you know what I say: take longs at the extreme or at the lows, shorts at the high. Just trade those extremes. Don't mess with it at the mid range. But we'll mark up some other levels and see if we can develop some plans. Same thing. Rejection at the weekly open. Not gonna do that for now. And Monday's range. Here. All right. Thank you for the BTC answer. No problem, man. Julian, what are you laughing at? What are you laughing at, Julian? Huh? Okay. Yeah, so this is almost more range bound than the others. It's just barely moving. I think you flip the weekly open and we can definitely take some longs. So if this gets above here, I'd look for some longs. If it sweeps Monday's high, like if it goes above and then trades back below 282, I would cut it. And I would honestly probably enter a short if we get that other scenario, because we have this really nice 4-hour supply right here. So if we wick into that and then break back below Monday's high, I think that is a very solid conservative short position or hedge, whatever you want to call it. And I would just be targeting Monday's low, something like this. Maybe you get your entry around there, stop right there, something like that. Nice 2R trade. But if it's showing some strength, holding above Monday's high, I think we would probably push to around here. SR. Make it a little thinner. Thoughts on trading coin futures versus stable coin futures? So do you mean like having your trades settled in BTC or ETH or whatever versus them being settled in USD? Just so I understand your question correctly. Also, we'll look at Sol and BNB. Those are the two chart requests on my list that I still want to do. Let me know if that's what you mean, Brandon. In the meantime, yeah, so those are the two scenarios I'm looking for on Litecoin. BNB with a nice dip right into Monday's high. I don't think this is a bad place to long BNB if you're looking for a long. I think a aggressive stop would be around here, more conservative probably around there, and then if it just rolled over, I would cut it early for a smaller loss. But BNB really looks solid here from a higher time frame perspective. Let me delete some of these old levels. I thought I did that already, but from a higher time frame perspective, we had a nice breakout from this downtrend, however you want to draw that exactly. But you can see we were just bleeding down, had this one nuke, and then we finally got back above it. Now we see a really nice tag of Monday's high, so I'd love to see that close. The daily doesn't look bad at all. We had an awesome day yesterday. Now I think it's just getting a pullback in, and I kind of expect that to continue. I guess you could say this is a daily breaker right there. That's pretty clean, actually. Took out these stops and broke above, retest. I do kind of like this for a long. Put my stop at around 500 is how I would want to play it. Something like this. And again, if it broke below 542, I would cut it. First target would be these highs. Second target is trail your stop loss. But that daily breaker actually looks pretty nice, I would say. One second, guys. I'm just responding to a couple quick things. Okay. 54.3. We break above. Nice. All right. Let's see what we get. I'd like to see a move more up to here, and then we get long on a retest before pushing up. Like, I'm not just going to market buy right now because I want to see that it actually flips that level. So we're still waiting, but it does look pretty solid. Yeah, in terms of profitability. Okay, so what I would say is, in a bull market, you want to trade the coin futures, and in a bear market, you want to trade the USD futures. Just because Like if you're expecting Bitcoin to go up, why wouldn't you want to accumulate more? You know, if you're expecting everything to drop, then you want to be safe in USD. So I think it just depends on your macro outlook. Like right now, I would still prefer trading in coin futures, because I do still think we're right in the middle of a bull market. Whereas when things do top out, whenever that is going to happen, then I would switch back to trading stablecoin futures, USD futures, whatever. 54.3, 54.3, 54.3. Yeah, so we did flip 54.3. Well, we haven't really flipped it yet. We're trying to. Like I said, I want to see it actually get above, and then we can either look for a retest or mark it in on a favorable close. But I do think we could push up a little bit more and then put in the low of the day early, and then tomorrow we just go back up here. And it could even be another inside day, you know, just another day of consolidation, but we could catch a nice long in there. So yeah, I'm looking to take this long. I want to see if we can do something like this. That would be ideal. Let me check funding really quick. Yeah, and the reason we want to wait is because this could absolutely just get rejected right here and then nuke back down. So we want to be patient. So here I just pulled up the funding. Ethereum funding is still a little bit high, but Bitcoin funding is pretty flat across the board. That's not too unusual. BitMEX Ethereum funding typically likes to stick around 0.1, whereas neutral for BitMEX or for Bitcoin is 0.01. So that doesn't look too bad. All right, we just closed a 15-minute candle in there, but I'm not going to enter yet, not before the daily close. I'd like to see it push up, maybe hit this resistance, and then give us a retest, and then we go. Because I know we're not just going to open tomorrow's daily candle and go straight up from there. So we're going to have to put the low of the day in at some point, and if that happens right away, then great, we catch along. But this could still be a rejection right here, because that's kind of what I would expect Monday's low to do if this is bearish. Reject there, push down, and go up. Also, guys, if we do get rejected here and break down, I definitely think we could take out this low and then get back up, and that would be a separate long that you could look for. So we're going to be a little patient with that. Are you trading coin futures right now, and if so, where? Yes, I trade coin futures on Bybit, and they do happen to sponsor these streams, which is awesome. It's cool to get a sponsor of a platform that I actually use. So I trade Bitcoin and Ethereum there while holding Bitcoin and Ethereum. So when I long Bitcoin, I get paid out in Bitcoin. So you're making money in multiple ways when you are trading a coin futures. So I think that's really, really solid. If you want to check out Bybit, you can use the link in the description. Show them some love for sponsoring these videos if you enjoy it. And if you guys think it'd be helpful, I could do a Bybit tutorial at some point, just so you guys can be a little more familiar with the platform, give a little review and whatever. FTX doesn't have coin futures, so you can't really do that there. But I do still trade a few alts on FTX that Bybit doesn't have. So things like Sol, that is not on Bybit, I still trade on FTX. But I do like trading Bitcoin and Ethereum, particularly on Bybit, especially in a bull market. The coin futures are nice. what were we talking about, guys? So yeah, we're still just waiting on this for right now. And oh, outbid FTX. Maybe not. FTX, I mean, they're both solid platforms, just depending what you want to do. The coin futures part is nice, and that's a nice feature of Bybit, and all the alts on FTX are nice, so I use both and spread out my counterparty risk. Okay, we wanted to talk about Sol, right? Or I think we were done talking about Litecoin. We're just kind of waiting on this one, but this PA, it's not very clean, so we're waiting that out. Sol perp. So I tweeted earlier this week about this range. We have those nice equal highs up there. We took out the range low, flipped it, rejected at the mid range, and now we kind of lost the mid range again. But we'll see what happens from there. I do still think the range high gets tagged. Sol has kind of not been correlated with the rest of the market, which is nice because I hold a lot of spot Sol. I thought it was interesting how we're basically trading in a range on top of this bigger range. This big one was pretty clean. We had this 4-hour demand right here that we wicked into, made a high, nice mid-range interactions here, swept that low into the demand, and just mooned right from there. So Sol looks good. I think if it comes back down to the range low, you can look for a long, but if you're not long already, I would probably wait it out. If it just decides to continue to range, we look for that range high sweep and then short it back down to the range low and see what happens from there. But that's kind of my current view on Sol. We have 10 minutes left until the daily close. I would like to see some more strength here from Bitcoin, but this is why I didn't want to just enter a long right when it touched 54,300. Let me go back to BNB really quick. So I do still think this would be, if you want a long BNB right now, I think this is a good place to do it. You could wait for a sweep of that level, but ideally this daily breaker would hold and we push up from there. We'll see what happens. I'd like to see it hold above Monday's high though. And stop loss placement is a little bit tricky. Like this would be a very conservative one. Right below the daily breaker would probably work, and this would be aggressive. So it all depends, but if we push away and then lose that level, I would cut it regardless. But I just wanted to make sure we finished talking about BNB. Do you only enter on retest or SR flips, and sometimes you miss out on entries when price blasts through resistance? That's a good question. I do not only enter on SR flips. I use a aggressive entry technique in certain environments where I would basically buy the candle close. So and also time of day plays a factor into my analysis as well. But let's say Bitcoin shot up and it was like the beginning of London session or something like that, closed a candle right here. I would buy that candle close with a stop loss at the low, because I wouldn't really expect the retest. However, other times I wait for the retest. It kind of depends on the situation, but yeah, you can definitely miss out on some if you wait for a retest and it never comes. So you kind of just need to differentiate which environments you use which technique in. And when things are consolidating like this, for the most part, I would expect a retest. But if we are in a strong trending environment, which we haven't seen in a while, just kidding. So like during this or during this, you don't always get that perfect retest. So it kind of just depends. I wish I had a more straightforward answer for you. The Spaniardo, what's up, brother? Good to have you here. Yeah, watch out for London session. We got you. Anyone know the site that shows liquidations across different exchanges? I think Viewbase has it. Let me pull it back up. Liquidations. Or maybe this is just Binance. Okay. This is just Binance. Sorry. I thought that was going to work. Yeah, so this doesn't look great now. But one thing is, if we close the candle like this and then push up, this turns into 15-minute demand. So if we break structure here, break above this high, we have demand right there, retest of the demand, adds more confluence to the trade setup. So not the end of the world, but it does look a little bit weak. Okay, thanks. You use Bybit. Sweet. I hope you're enjoying it. What else do you guys want me to look at? Also, if you guys could like the video, that would be awesome. Helps us get helps out with the YouTube algo to get people who don't just follow me on Twitter to view the video. If we could hit like 100, that would be awesome. Daily close in 5 minutes. I'm glad we didn't mark it in. So right now it kind of just looks like an SR flip of Monday's low, but that can change quickly. Uni has been really strong. Whoa, that's an ugly daily chart. Up 4% on the day though. What about portfolio management? What exactly about portfolio management? XRP? Yeah, we can look at XRP. Just get a sip of water. First time joined the stream, loving it. We'll tune in every time. Awesome. Really appreciate that, man. Good to have you here. Okay, so you guys know the drill. Let's mark out some levels. We've got some demand right here. Not sure if we get there, but good to know where it is. This actually might give us some really nice confluence. Monday's range, bang on right there. Weekly open. Look how well the weekly open has been capping price. See how this 4 hour just has been unable to close above? Might be kind of hard for you guys to see. Is it easier if I make it a little? There we go. Looking pretty nice. Your first time too, Sean. Shut up. Okay, so XRP. Intraday, it's just, or intra-week. I guess since Monday, it's kind of just been consolidating. But, you know, we can kind of see we've got this downtrend going on. It would be some really nice confluence if we broke above that and above the weekly open, because so far this week that's really been what's capping price. Otherwise, we have some nice liquidity at these lows. I know that kind of got tagged, but with how it barely got tagged, I would call these pretty much equal lows. So from a higher time frame perspective, if the market does take more of a pullback, I'd look for a sweep into that level, reclaim of 1.169, and look for a continued push from there. And you could wait for more confluence, like if this keeps going, break out of that, break above the weekly open, and that's when I'd look for XRP to start trending again. I say fake out after open, then bounce. You mean fake out down? I could see that. I mean, honestly, guys, it's all good if this setup doesn't play out perfectly. Like, what does this range look like if we draw it here? That's pretty clean. So another thing you could look for, if this setup doesn't play out, oops, I'm an idiot. If this setup that we're looking for doesn't play out, I want to see us come down here. If it's right after the daily open, that'd be awesome. Take out that low, reclaim it, reclaim this, Monday's low, and each of those spots offer opportunities to get on board. So you could look for a long here, which would be the more aggressive one with the tightest risk. You could look to add right here, and you can look to add again right there, targeting the weekly open. So that's kind of the other scenario. And I say this a lot because I stream around the daily close a lot, or the daily open, next day's open. But aggressive moves right after the daily open tend to get reversed, and I fade those. So if this goes straight down in a couple minutes and then starts going back up, I will absolutely be longing that. Would you give an insight on how much percentage-wise of your portfolio do you use for trades, and what are your percentage portfolio goals, as in daily, monthly? I shoot for 10 to 15% a month, and I mean, I use my whole. I guess I don't fully understand the percentage-wise of my portfolio. Like, I have some spot Bitcoin I hold outside of Bybit or FTX or Coinbase, whatever exchange. But out of my trading accounts, I calculate risk based on that, if that makes sense. Yo, Cos bought Ray at 11, bad entry, but what are the TA targets? Need some hopium. I'll look at Ray. I'm very bullish on Ray, so I think you'll be all right. 18 more likes, guys. Come on. 17 now. We're getting close to 100. Take a look at Doge. Yeah, I'll look at Doge. Did I celebrate the holidays yesterday? I did not. I don't smoke weed, so I celebrated Doge Day by shorting, though, if that counts. Okay, so, oops. We'll look at a couple more. Ray, that's right. See, Bitcoin's pumping off the open, so that doesn't make me super confident. I posted a chart on Ray yesterday. I think this is daily demand right here. 12, I don't know. Yeah, 12 hour maybe. If it's daily, here. We'll make it daily demand. We've got our daily demand there. This low front ran it just barely. This low front ran it once again. And then as soon as we got that sweep into daily demand, I was interested. I think I tweeted when it was at 7.8, 7.9, around there, saying I think the low is in. And we've had a really nice pump since then. So it, I don't know, did 15, 20% yesterday. So Ray's looking good. As far as targets go, let's see how this looks. That's interesting. We're right at the mid-range. As far as targets go, I think this is the resistance you want to look at. And so pretty much a break even for you if you got in at 11, but that's okay. If we might get rejected there a little bit, but as soon as we flip that level, I think it's pretty much back to price discovery mode for Ray. Dogecoin, the meme that keeps on giving. So really clean range here, actually. Hold on, let me take a sip of water. Okay, really clean range here, to be completely honest with you. We have equal lows here and untapped highs there, and this one. So right now, I think you kind of wait, but I mean, Doge is such a curveball because a single tweet can change everything from Elon. But the two scenarios I'd be watching, if we take out this low, these equal lows, I would be looking for a long. But if we get some crazy pump first, take out all-time high, get people screaming that that new all-time highs are coming, and then dump from there, I would be looking for something like that. So right now, you kind of just have to be patient. I wouldn't really want to be taking too many leverage trades right here in this range, but overall, this higher time frame range looks pretty good to me. Yeah, if we take out those equal lows, Sean, that wouldn't be bad. Bitcoin's being a little goofy. We got a new daily open though. I'll mark that really quick because if we do nuke first, and take out those lows and then get back above the daily open, I would expect the low of the day to be in. So pretty much exactly what I have drawn here. These are kind of the scenarios we're looking for. I'm going to delete these for now. Either we take out 53.2 and then start pushing up from there, or if we get back above Monday's high at 54.3, then I think we could be all right. Brennan, you're never going to recover from this? Recover from what? Yeah, I can look at ETC in a moment. I just wanted to take another peek at this. So it kind of looks like BNB is going to pull back a bit more. So I would wait before entering anything. But honestly, I think it would be, it makes the setup more clear if we can get a dip into here and then back above Monday's high, because then you can long with a more clear invalidation. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. All right, this is coming down. I think, once again, I literally can't stress this enough, how important it is to not just market long right when it gets to your area of interest. You want to see it actually break out from a level and then retest it. So aggressive move off the daily open. If it sells off for this whole first hour, we're fading it. Kaz has never seen Tiger King, and it shows. Yeah, I have not. So you got that right. We'll keep an eye on Bitcoin here a little bit. Something that annoys me a little bit is the exchange discrepancy. So if we look at like Coinbase, just made like an equal low. That one is at 53,130. If we look at FTX, then this low is at, I guess that's similar. Didn't take that one yet though. This is a chart probably worth talking about though. I tweeted this not too long ago that if I was just looking at this chart normally, I would expect it to follow the black. And we kind of talked about this with our high time frame analysis here of Bitcoin. But because it's Bitcoin, I wouldn't be surprised if we just consolidate here and then push, but we'll see. All right, keep selling off. Let's take those lows and then we'll look for an entry. 11 likes away, 7 likes away. Hit 100 likes and we'll finish up the chart requests. Is that mean? Honestly, I'm pretty keen on just watching what Bitcoin does here, because we could be taking a trade setup at any minute. This pretty much just painted perfect equal lows. All right, I'm not going to be mean. We're at 95 likes, but I trust you guys to get us up there. So I will look at ETC, even though I haven't traded this thing in like probably my entire life. Actually, oh my gosh, look how old that is. I actually remember buying Ethereum Classic in expectation of the Coinbase listing, so that must have been in like August of 2018, and I think that's the only time I've traded it. All right, just on first glance, I probably would not. I would not touch this right now. I'm not touching this. After something has gone parabolic like this, up 350%, and now it just can't catch a bid to save its life, this probably comes down to like 20s, low 20s, and then that SR is probably where you can look to build a position again. But I am just not a huge fan of this structure right here. So, all right, Ethereum's getting close to our line in the sand right as Bitcoin's getting down here. So if Bitcoin takes out this low and then gets above 53.2, I think that would line up really nicely with an Ethereum long. Link. Link is pretty ugly. I mean, I'm bullish on Link big picture. Like high time frame, it looks like we've broken out and we're holding this level as support. So like high time frame, it looks good. Lower time frame, it's hard to take many trades in this kind of an environment. So bullish on Link, need to see it start pushing a little bit to be bullish on it. We got a big old Monday's range. See if any of these. I think if you flip the weekly open, you could get long on it. Or I think if you line it up with the other things we're trading in confluence with each other, if it retests Monday's low, I think you could look for a long there. Let's see. XRP, I think 1.1 would be really killer. And okay, it's time to pay attention to Bitcoin. What do I think about TRX? I haven't really traded TRX much ever really, but I know Kaleo's really bullish on it, so. EOS. Man. Some of these alts look like they just had a blow off top. Weekly opens right here. I think as long as it holds above like 550, it's probably still bullish, but same thing. Like this PA is something I'm not interested in trading. It's pretty much like Bitcoin and Ethereum are the only coins that I can see some relatively clear setups on. But this structure is just not something that gets me too excited. What setups do I trade the most? SR flips, range sweeps, breakers, a specific type of SFP when the proper confluence is there. That's pretty much it. And I use a lot of those setups like in confluence with each other. So BCH, all right, last chart request, and then we just gotta focus on Bitcoin. So this is the major support right here. I know that's drawn really roughly. Where's Monday's low on here? Kind of the same thing. A lot of these coins are coming back, testing Monday's low, and that's going to be like either they bounce from there or they lose it and then come down to the next support that we're kind of eyeing. So BCH, same thing. This structure, not really interested in trading it, but if it either pulls back more or breaks out of its range, then we'll be looking to long a bunch. This is going to be such a tease, you guys, if it only takes out this low. Let's check on some other exchanges. Oh my gosh, this is so annoying. Equal lows right there on BitMEX. On Coinbase, just about equal lows, but it took this one. On Bybit, it took the first one, didn't reach the second. It's tough. I mean, it doesn't have to take that low, but I would like for it to. Still gonna wait patiently. If it leaves that low and gets above Monday's high, I think you still take a long targeting the weekly open, but because of these pretty much being equal lows, I would think that even if it does this, gets up there, I would think it comes back down and takes them later. I don't think we're just going to leave those lows there. Okay, I'll look at this, whatever this is. How do you trade this? SIA? SC? Is this it? SIA coin? Oh my gosh. What is this? I don't do well with charts that look like barcodes. However, it looks bullish. Looks like it's just breaking out. Like, very simply speaking, it looks like an SR flip as long as you hold this little cluster. I guess you could refine it like that. If you hold between 64 and 72, then I think it looks like it's going up. Why are equal lows bad? I wouldn't necessarily say they're bad per se, but I just think there is quite a bit of liquidity at equal lows. Like stop losses built up, so I would just expect them to get hit. What's up, Angle? Trader Kaze. BCC. What is BCC? USD? BitBay? Perp? USDT? What's a BitBay? Oh my gosh. Angle, this might be the ugliest chart I've ever seen in my life. Oh my goodness. It's going to the moon. I'm just kidding. I have no idea what it's doing. IOTA. Should use Binance probably. IOTA is straight grinding up. Kind of the same thing as everything else. This is like a weird looking structure. If it breaks down, we'll look to enter lower and then get back above this low. But if it breaks out above this range, it's back to up only mode. That's pretty much what all these alts look like, except for Ethereum. Ethereum held that low nicely. Bitcoin didn't quite take it. If Bitcoin took out this low, then I'd be confident in longing Ethereum here, but I would want to wait. All right, guys, I think that's gonna do it for this stream. About an hour 20. We hit 102 likes. That's awesome. I really appreciate you guys being here. I will be streaming again on Friday. And then I will post in my Telegram to figure out when the more consistent stream schedule is going to be. I appreciate you all being here. Thanks for tuning in. It means a lot to me. If you would like to support me, once again, shout out Bybit for sponsoring this so I can do these completely for free for you guys. So if you enjoy it, please use that Bybit sign up link in the description, so that Bybit knows that I am worth their time and we can keep doing these. So thanks again, guys. Hopefully this helps. I'll post an update on Twitter if I enter anything, but for right now, I'm waiting. I really want to see one more leg down, but vielen Dank, bis Freitag. See you on Friday. My Telegram is in the description, I believe. Telegram link should be in the description. Let me double check to make sure. Yeah, Telegram link and Twitter username and Bybit link are all in the description. So thanks so much, guys. Awesome viewership, ton of likes. You guys are the best. And let's talk soon. Check Twitter. What's going on Twitter? Oh, are you Satoshi's love child? I'll watch that after the stream's over. All right, fam. Thanks again, and I will talk to you guys in person. Well, not in person, with my voice, not just on Twitter, on Friday. See you guys soon.